Hey yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Illusions Ghost and welcome back to another video, guys. And inside of this video we are actually going to be going over how to complete the Busy Bear quest line fast and easy, guys. So make sure you guys all stay tuned so you guys don't miss a single thing, and without further ado, let's jump straight into this. So to complete the Busy Bee quest line, you're actually going to need two things. All right, you're gonna need honey, and two, a pollinated crop of Busy Bear's choice. All right, so Busy Bear right here, guys, all right, will actually tell you how much honey that you need. C7. What I need to do is simply just, submit the honey. You can see it takes it right out of my honey deposit. How you actually get honey is very, very simple. You actually go over here. You need a certain fruit, all right, a pollinated fruit that is over 10 kilograms. If it's not over 10 kilograms, all right, then you need multiple fruits that add up to 10 kilograms. You gave it to this guy and simply you wait 30 seconds, guys, all right, and then you will get 10 honey from this. So that's actually how you get the honey. How you actually get the pollinated crop. So right here he's asking for corn, guys. We can actually get corn. Corn is a very, very easy crop to get. I bet there's actually be corn inside of the shop right here. Okay, there's no corn seeds, but there's usually corn seeds. But once you get the corn, you simply want to plant it like so, guys. You can see that my corn is currently growing, and once it's finally all grown up, then it'll produce fruits that can actually get pollinated. But getting a pollinated crop is actually the easy part. The hard part is actually right here, guys. You can see that it actually needs to be a 2.8 kilogram piece of corn, which not all pieces of corn actually end up being 2.8 kilograms. All right, some of them are much, much smaller, but it just needs to be over 2.8 kilograms or over to actually meet it. This gets kind of difficult, especially when you're trying to do like the rows, guys. The rows was very hard for me because over here, guys, all right, most of these roses are actually under the threshold. You need a 1.4 kilogram rose. It's one of the very first ones, guys, and as you can see, this one's only 1.3 kilograms. All right, so this doesn't work. All right, I might as well just get rid of this, bro. So to actually get giant fruit, all right, and because you need such a wide variety of different fruits, guys, what you guys should do is basically plant multiple of these crops. So what I did was I had like maybe 4 or 5 rose bushes, all right, and then every single time I'd go and collect all of the pollinated fruits from there and check if either one of them are the right size. If you're struggling to get pollinated crops, guys, all right, basically what you need to do is you need to wait until the event actually starts. The event starts at the top of every hour and lasts for about 10 minutes. You can see that we are 7 minutes away from the swarm event. This will actually go and pollinate many of our fruits, guys, all right. There's also another thing that you could actually use to get certain fruits pollinated over other fruits. The first method is actually to get rid of all of the fruits that you don't want to get pollinated. So let's say like I don't want this dragon fruits to actually get pollinated here. I can simply remove this whole dragon fruit, all right, even though that it is a very expensive and very useful crop, guys, all right. If I don't want it, then boom, I'm getting rid of it, okay? Or same with the cacti, okay? If I don't need the cacti, if I don't need pollinated cacti, all right, I can just get rid of that whole fruit, and then that'll leave more options for my corn or my roses or whatever else that I need to get pollinated to actually be pollinated. After completing every single quest, all right, or each quest in here, you will actually get a reward. You can see that this current reward that I'm going to get is the flower seed pack, guys, all right. This flower seed pack can be opened to get a bunch of different rewards. So if I actually open up a flower seed pack, you can see that, okay, we just got a normal rose, who cares, all right. So, that was that, but we can get, some insane rewards, like, say, the sunflower, all right, or, just tons and tons of different fruits. The other method to get a certain fruit pollinated over other fruits is none other than the Nectar Staff, guys, all right. This will actually attract bees to a certain location on your farm, guys. to then actually, you know, get those fruits pollinated. So if I place it over here next to my corn, the corn will be like the first ones to get pollinated once the next event actually happens, which happens in about 5 minutes now, guys. If you're wondering how you actually get the Nectar Staffs, you can get the Nectar Staffs from completing some of the Busy Bear quests. All right, you will get a different reward pretty much every single time. One of the best rewards that you could possibly get is right here. It is the premium anti-bee egg. You can see that it costs 149 Robux, but you can actually get this for free by doing some of these quests, guys. Of course I gotta, get my free 50 gold. Another thing, guys, if you simply cannot get a 1.4 kilogram rose or, something of the sort, you can't get a big enough fruit for your thing, or you simply don't have that certain fruit, all right, you can actually go here and just skip the recipe entirely. That will give you the reward and move you on to the next quest, guys. All right, and then it'll give you new fruit and more honey to put in. All right, I believe you need 532 honey to complete this whole entire quest line, guys, to get all of the Busy Bear rewards. All right, unless of course you're over here skipping all of the recipes, then you don't really need as much honey. One thing to keep in mind, guys, all right, most of this stuff is actually, all of the fruits that you actually need are pretty much common fruits inside of here. All right, of course there is the rose and stuff like that, and there are some of these of the exclusive items, all right, that you get from the bee swarm event. All right, but most of the fruit that you will actually need actually come from here, like the carrot, the strawberry, the orange tulip, the tomato, guys, and of course the corn, as I'm trying to get right now. All right, it'll keep going and going, all right, down the list, okay, until you finally have completed it all. All right, and probably the hardest part is actually getting the seeds that you need at the certain time that you need them, guys. All right, I would suggest planting all of these seeds initially, all right, and then actually waiting until it's actually requesting them, and then you harvest the pollinated fruits and then give it to this guy. All right, that's why over here, I have like some nectar shade, okay, because I'm anticipating some lavender. I'm anticipating that they'll actually be requesting that in the future. All right, same with the lilac, that they'll be requesting that in the future, so then I can actually give it to them then. Bro, this person came over to me, all right, asked me for a fruit, and they got like 25 times more money than I do, all right, but I don't care. I give them a fruit anyway. So while some of the rewards here actually might not be the best, all right, like a flower seed pack, all right, might not actually be all that good, guys. All right, it is good doing these quests because you can actually get these anti-bee eggs. All right, these will actually get you exclusive pets, all right, throughout the game. You have the wasp, the tarantula wasp, all right, the moth, the dragonfly, or whatever the heck this thing is, and then of course the disco bee. Both the wasp and the tarantula wasp actually do the exact same thing. This one just has a slightly better cooldown. All right, what they actually do is basically they will pollinate a plant every so often. They will sting another pet, guys, that'll actually shorten the other pet's cooldown so they can do their ability quicker. What the moth actually does, the moth will actually restore a random pet's hunger by 100% every 13 minutes or so. And the butterfly, all right, I called it a dragonfly, all right, but it's a butterfly. The butterfly will actually go to a nearby fruit that has 5+ mutations on it. It will remove all of the mutations and actually give it rainbow, guys. And last but certainly not least, all right, we have the disco bee. This bee will turn a random fruit into the disco mutation every so often, guys, making it very, very OP. But as you can see, it is very, very rare. Only a 2.5% chance of actually hatching. If all else fails, guys, I believe if you cannot get a pollinated crop of, say, it's corn in this case, if you cannot get a 2.8 kilogram piece of corn here, all right, that's pollinated, one thing that you can do is actually turn it honey glazed, all right? Get the honey glazed mutation, and I believe that this Busy Bear will still take it because, of course, he's a bear. He loves honey, all right? How you actually get the honey glaze mutation, other than pets, because there's a couple pets that'll actually give you the honey glaze mutation, all right, is through this right here, all right? You can go here and trade your honey. If you scroll down, you will actually find this honey sprinkler, guys. Ooh, I gotta buy this. You will actually find this honey sprinkler, all right? It covers nearby plants and honey, last 1 minute, guys. All right, so basically what that means is you place it down, it just works like a normal sprinkler, but instead of giving you the normal rewards from it, it turns it into honey glaze. Then boom, once it's honey glaze, you just turn it in, craft whatever you need, and you get your reward, guys. And you keep on doing this, get more rewards, and get more anti-bee eggs to try to get that disco bee, because man, that thing is OP, man. Anyway, that's gonna be it. I'll see you guys all later. Peace out, and of course, goodbye.